Well, folks, another atheist has failed the Shock of God challenge. Right here, Mr. Bear has failed the Shock of God challenge. So let's go up here to a video where he gets a clip of a video that I made, which this particular video that I made, I'm going to put the link right below. It's really angering the atheist a lot because I paint the atheist in a corner and I force them to admit the fact that either the Christian God exists or doesn't exist. The law of non-contradiction holds true that the Christian God cannot exist and cannot not exist at the same time. In other words, the Christian God can't exist, but then also be non-existent at the same time. He either exists or doesn't exist. So in this video, I'm challenging Mr. Bear to basically provide some proof and evidence that atheism is accurate and correct, and he doesn't do it. In fact, in a very fatal flaw in his video, he claims that because we have two president-elects, like Biden and Trump, I don't get why that would make atheism accurate and correct. I don't get that. But that's his argument when you watch this video. I'm talking about the law of non-contradiction. Either God exists or he doesn't, specifically the Christian God. This whole video of his 13 minutes and 26 seconds is an utter failure. So Mr. Bear, you've heard the saying, does a bear in the woods? Well, does a bear fail the Shock of God challenge in the woods? Yes. So let's watch this video and you're going to see what I mean. But I hate doing it, but Mr. Bear has to join the failures of other atheists, hundreds of them that have failed the Shock of God challenge.
See that it's true.
Only if the research is not cherry-picked or carefully selected or reframed disingenuously, which is what you do.
So he says that I am cherry-picking and being disingenuous, but everything I'm saying during the video he agrees with. When I talk about the law of non-contradiction, the laws of logic, he agrees with it. But unfortunately, his analogy is that because Biden and Trump are both president-elect, that's what he claims, like, I don't get it. Therefore, God doesn't exist. Why would that prove that atheism is accurate or correct? Mr. Bear, not only does a bear in the woods, the bear fails in the woods. Let's continue.
The atheist will have none of that. So imagine, here's you, my left fist, and here's the atheist, my right fist, and right in the middle is the topic, the dashboard here. Does God exist? The Christian God. That's the topic of the debate.
I agree. As an atheist, we should always use the dashboard as evidence. Well, if we...
No. You notice we're not saying the dashboard's evidence, okay? The atheists are very dishonest. But what we're saying is you have the topic, does God exist? And the atheists will move away from the topic and will talk about their opinion. They'll say, they won't give any arguments, by the way, against the existence of God, which Mr. Bear fails to give any arguments against the existence of God. He also fails to conquer the Shock of God challenge. And you know why they're getting scared, folks? We're making this video on November 23rd. The time is going by fast. It's going to be another year that atheists fail the Shock of God challenge. And Mr. Bear gets no honey for this video. He searched and searched for honey like bears do, but he has come up wanting.
We take a look at these dashboards. They confirm Joe Biden to be the winner of the 2020 US election.
Listen to this. The question is, what proof and evidence do you have that would finally at last prove that atheism is accurate and correct? That doesn't prove that atheism is accurate and correct. In fact, Mr. Bear, I hate to embarrass you. Get it? Embarrass you? Okay. Okay, sorry about that. But I hate to embarrass you. That's going to be the title of this video. Mr. Bear gets embarrassed, fails Shock of God challenge. That just came to me while I'm doing that. But he just proved that atheists do what I always say they do. I said they're going to move from the topic, remember what the topic is, and try to change subjects. And he's talking about the election. He's not providing proof and evidence that atheism is accurate and correct. Mr. Bear, you're probably very embarrassed.
What you're going to do is focus on the topic of the debate, but your atheist friend over here, my right fist, he's not going to focus on that.
And that's just what happened. You notice how he's talking about the election. He's not answering the Shock of God challenge. Let me remind the atheist so you don't get embarrassed like Mr. Bear is embarrassed, because unfortunately I'm going to have to add him to the list of failures to the Shock of God challenge. Remember, the topic is, what proof and evidence do you have that would finally at last prove that atheism is accurate and correct? Let's continue.
To give any arguments on that, rather than they're going to be talking about their opinion and what they feel of things. They're going to try to move the topic away from what it is, which is, does the Christian God exist? Now, how do you keep the atheist on his side of the debate where he has to give arguments against the existence of God? Because the atheist is going to want to retreat to agnosticism.
Okay, this part is absolutely hilarious. So I'm a real person riding a real motorcycle, and I'm talking about trying to get atheists to deal with reality, right? So watch this. You couldn't write a better script than this. Watch this. This is hilarious. I'm talking about keeping the atheist focused on reality, and the video turns to a driving bear in a vehicle, and he starts making fun of reality. You're a driving bear. You're a cartoon driving bear.
Show you how to handle this.
Watch this.
It's absolutely
This is so
brilliant.
funny.
Those of you that are the Marines of Christianity and you're out there debating, here's what you do. You got to lead them into reality.
Wait for it. Here we go. Watch this. This is comedy gold.
Christianity and you're out there debating, here's what you do. You got to lead them into reality.
Lead them into reality. Oh, God, this is so ironic.
He's a driving bear. He's a driving bear. Look at yourself. Folks, I'm going to put a link below this video. And what we're doing here is we're getting clowns, atheist clowns, and we're grabbing them by the scruff of their neck and we're forcing them to look into the mirror and look at yourself. Look at yourself. And when the atheist sees that they cannot prove that atheism is accurate and correct, they have a glimpse of reality rather than a driving bear, but they have a glimpse of reality, and they look into the mirror and they see themselves with this big red hair, this big red nose, and all their clown polka dot glory. Mr. Bear, not only does a bear poop in the woods, he also fails the Shock of God challenge.